Okay, we're still here at the house of Siam on Tremont Street. This is Act 2, Scene 5 of King Henry VI, Part 1. Enter Mortimer, brought in a chair, poor guy, and jailers. Kind keepers, my weak, decaying age. Let dying Mortimer here rest himself. Then like a man new hailed from the rack, so fare my limbs with long imprisonment. These grey locks, these pursuivants of death, Nestor-like aged in an age of care, argue the end of Edmund Mortimer. These eyes, like lamps whose wasting oil is spent, wax dim as drawing to their exigent. Weak shoulders overbore with burdening grief, pithless arms like to a withered vine that droops his sapless branches to the ground. Yet are these feet, whose strengthless stay is numb, unable to support this lump of clay, swift-winged with desire to get a grave, as witting I no other comfort have. Let's highlight that. But tell me, keeper, will my nephew come? Richard Plantagenet, my lord, will come. We sent him to the temple, unto his chamber, and answer was returned that he will come. Enough, my soul shall then be satisfied. Poor gentleman, his wrong doth equal mine. Since Henry Monmouth first began to reign, before whose glory I was great in arms, this loathsome sequestration have I had, and even since then hath Richard been obscured, deprived of honour and inheritance. But now the arbitrator of despairs, just death, kind umpire of men's miseries, with sweet enlargement doth dismiss me hence. I would his troubles likewise were expired, that so he might recover what was lost. Enter Richard. My lord, your loving nephew now is come. Richard Plantagenet, my friend, is he come? Aye, noble uncle, thus ignobly used, your nephew late despised Richard comes. Direct mine arms, I may embrace his neck, and in his bosom spend my latter gasp. Oh, tell me when my lips do touch his cheeks, that I may kindly give one fainting kiss. And now declare, sweet stem from York's great stock, why didst thou say of late thou wert despised? First, lean thine aged back against mine arm, and in that ease I'll tell thee my disease. This day at argument upon a case, some words there grew twixt Somerset and me, along which terms he used his lavish tongue, and did upbraid me with my father's death, which obloquy set bars before my tongue, else with the like I had requited him. Therefore, good uncle, for my father's sake, in honour of a true Plantagenet, and for alliance' sake, declare the cause my father, Earl of Cambridge, lost his head. That cause, fair nephew, that imprisoned me, and hath detained me all my flowering youth within a loathsome dungeon there to pine, was cursed instrument of his decease. Discover more at large what cause that was, for I am ignorant and cannot guess. I will, if that my fading breath permit, and death approach not ere my tale be done. Henry IV, grandfather to this king, deposed his nephew Richard, Edward's son, the first begotten and the lawful heir of Edward King, the third of that descent, during whose reign the Percys of the north, finding his usurpation most unjust, endeavoured my advancement to the throne. The reason moved these warlike lords to this was for that young Richard thus removed, leaving no heir begotten of his body, I was the next by birth and parentage. For by my mother I derived am from Lionel, Duke of Clarence, third son to King Edward III, whereas he from John of Gaunt doth bring his pedigree, being but fourth of that heroic line. But mark, as in this haughty great attempt they laboured to plant the rightful heir, I lost my liberty and they their lives. Long after this, when Henry V, succeeding his father Bolingbroke, did reign, thy father, Earl of Cambridge, then, derived from famous Edmund Langley, Duke of York, marrying my sister, that my mother was, again in pity of my hard distress, levied an army, weening to redeem, and have installed me in the diadem. But as the rest, so fell that noble earl, and was beheaded. Thus the Mortimers, in whom the title rested, were suppressed. Of which, my lord, your honour is the last, true. And thou seest that I no issue have, and that my fainting words do warrant death. Thou art my heir. The rest I wish thee gather, but yet be wary in thy studious care. Thy grave admonishments prevail with me, but yet methinks my father's execution was nothing less than bloody tyranny. With silence, nephew, be thou politic. Strong, fixed is the house of Lancaster, and like a mountain not to be removed, but now thy uncle is removing hence, as princes do their courts when they are cloyed with long continuance in a settled place. O uncle, would some part of my young years might but redeem the passage of your age. Thou dost then wrong me, as that slaughter doth which giveth many wounds when one will kill. Mourn not, except thou sorrow for my good. Only give order for my funeral. And so farewell, and fair be all thy hopes, and prosperous be thy life in peace and war. That means he dies. And peace, no war befall thy parting soul. In prison hast thou spent a pilgrimage, and like a hermit overpassed thy days. Well, I will lock his counsel in my breast, and what I do, imagine, let that rest. Keepers convey him hence, and I myself will see his burial better than his life. Here lies the dusky torch of Mortimer, choked with ambition of the meaner sort, and for those wrongs, those bitter injuries which Somerset hath offered to my house, I doubt not but with honour to redress. And therefore haste I to the Parliament, either to be restored with my blood, or make my will the advantage of my good. End of Act 2.